Hsinchu official sparks corporal punishment debate. Hualien faces backlash over blockade vehicles. U.S.-Taiwan chip concerns. At least 4 dead in Michigan church shooting in U.S. UK says it will introduce digital ID cards. Microsoft blocks Israeli army from using its software. Typhoon hits Vietnam, causing 8 dead and 17 missing. Selena Gomez marries music producer Blanco.
Hello, I'm Jasmine. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Tuesday, September 30th, International Translation Day, and here are your top stories. In local news, on Teachers' Day, Hsinchu Civil Affairs Director Shi Shuting wrote that corporal punishment is the foundation of Taiwan's competitiveness, sparkling heated debate. NYCU professor Lin Zhijie stressed laws ban such practices, urging parents and officials to keep corporal punishment from shaping Hsinchu's education policy. Severe flooding from the Matai'an Creek Barrier Lake in Hualien drew nationwide volunteer aid, but county authorities face criticism. A charity food group at supply trucks were blocked, and on the 28th, a Tzu Chi medical van was stopped for an officials meeting. Deputy Health Minister Lin Jingyi said medical support passes were issued to avoid rescue delays. U.S. Commerce Secretary William Lutnick proposed a 50-50 chip production split, raising concerns in Taiwan. NCU professor Wu Daren warned that if TSMC invests $500 billion in U.S. expansion, it could drain domestic growth and hurt Taiwan's economy. Liu Peizhen of TIR added such terms may reshape the global semiconductor landscape for decades. And in global news, at least 4 people were killed and 8 others injured after a gunman drove a vehicle into a Michigan church, opened fire, and set the building ablaze before being killed himself. Officials said the attack on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc happened during a Sunday service attended by hundreds of people. The suspect, identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford, 40, from Burton, Michigan, was later shot dead by police in the building's car park.
Authorities are investigating the incident as an act of targeted violence, but say the motive remains unclear. In a news conference, Grand Blanc Township Police Chief William Renier said 2 victims died from gunshot wounds. He later said 2 more people had been found dead and that some others remained unaccounted for, though he could not say how many. The church was still being cleared on Sunday night after suffering extensive fire damage. The attacker then opened fire with an assault-style rifle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church. The suspect had used an accelerant, most likely gasoline, to start the blaze.
UK government announced that British citizens and permanent residents will be required to produce a mandatory digital identification card to work, reviving an idea that has long considered controversial. The government said the plan will help reduce unauthorized immigration by making it harder for people to walk in the underground economy. It says it will also make it simpler for people to access health care, welfare, child care, and other public services.
This government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer said, "It will make it tougher to work illegally in this country, making our borders more secure." Britain has not required compulsory identity cards for citizens since shortly after World War II, and the idea has long been contentious. Civil rights campaigners argue it infringes on personal liberty and risks exposing personal data. Former Prime Minister Tony Blair attempted to introduce biometric ID cards 2 decades ago to fight terrorism and fraud, but the plan was abandoned after strong opposition from the public and Parliament. Starmer's government said people would not need to carry their ID or show it on demand, but it will be mandatory for employment.
Microsoft has cut off some services to a unit in Israel's defense minister after investigating allegations that it was using Microsoft cloud products for the mass surveillance of Palestinians. Microsoft President Brett Smith said the move followed a review of an August 6th report from The Guardian that said an Israel Defense Forces intelligence unit had used the company's Azure storage service to collect and store recordings of Palestinian surveillance phone calls.
Azure is Microsoft's primary cloud computing service, with millions of monthly active users worldwide. However, The Guardian alleged that the unit had access to a customized and segregated area within Azure's cloud platform. Smith did not directly corroborate that claim but said the company's review found evidence supporting the reporting, including the use of Azure storage capacity in the Netherlands and certain artificial intelligence services. He did not provide further details. Microsoft has since informed Israel's defense ministry, which oversees the IDF and its intelligence units, that it was disabling the unit's access to parts of Azure's cloud storage service.
Typhoon tore through Vietnam's coast on Monday, killing 8 people and leaving 17 others missing as strong winds and rain damaged houses, knocked out power, and flooded roads before the storm weakened. As it moved toward Laos, Boirit swept along the country's north-central coastline before making landfall. Producing waves as high as 26 feet, rainfall in several parts of the country was forecast to reach nearly 20 inches from Sunday night through Tuesday.
Boirit has so far damaged 245 houses, inundated nearly 3,500 acres of rice and other crops, and cut off access to several areas. No major damage to industrial properties was reported, though several large factories lie in or near Boirit's path, including those owned by Foxconn, Luxshare, Formosa Plastics, and VinFast. Ahead of the typhoon's landfall, the government evacuated more than 28,500 people, while hundreds of flights were canceled or delayed as 4 airports in central provinces were closed. The cyclone has brought heavy rains across much of Vietnam since Saturday, and authorities have warned of the risk of severe flooding and landslides.
U.S. pop star and actress Selena Gomez has married music producer Blanco in a ceremony in California. Gomez posted pictures to Instagram of herself wearing a white halter-neck wedding gown and Blanco in a dark tuxedo, alongside the caption Night 2725 bookend by Love Hearts. The couple exchanged vows in Santa Barbara on Saturday in front of around 170 guests, including singer-songwriter Taylor Swift, actor Paul Rudd, Steve Martin, and Martin Short.
Gomez, 33, and Blanco, 37, became engaged in December 2024 after a year of dating, having previously collaborated on several music projects. The couple released the album I Said I Love You First in March, which explores their own love story. They had previously released the hits Same Old Love and Kill 'Em with Kindness in 2015, as well as the 2019 track I Can't Get Enough. Gomez starred in the Disney Channel series Wizards of Waverly Place before beginning her music career in the 2000s. Blanco released his only solo studio album, Friends Keep Secrets, in 2018 and has produced records for artists including Katy Perry, Britney Spears, and Kesha.
The answer for last Friday was C, unfounded. The politician denied all the accusations, calling them completely unfounded. Did you answer correctly? Now let's dive into today's news. UK says it will introduce digital ID cards. Number 1. Mandatory, 强制的. Wearing a seatbelt is mandatory in most countries. Number 2. Unauthorized, 未经授权的. Access to this area is unauthorized for visitors. Number 3. Infringe, 侵犯, 违反. This policy infringes on our basic human rights. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment sections. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. Thaw International Translation Day has a history of more than 60 years. It wasn't until 2017 that it was officially recognized by the United Nations. That year, the UN General Assembly passed a resolution declaring the day. In addition, many organizations also chose to observe it, including the International Federation of Translators, the International Association of Professional Translators, and interpreters, and several others. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to turn into FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Jasmine, your host. I'll see you next time.